the rapper XXX Tentacion has
been shot, apparently targeted while shopping for a motorcycle. Chopper 4 was over.
When X died, I was 14. I wasn't allowed to take my phone to school. When I finally got home, I saw video after video announcing his death. Now, I thought all of this was fake news because he literally pulled the same stunt last year. Then I saw the video, him slumped over in his car, and that was it. My favorite artist was gone. No more music, no more interviews, no more X, right? The days and weeks following his murder came with all you'd expect. Murals all around the world set up in his honor by grieving fans. Classroom discussions from students to teachers surrounding him. Clickbaity YouTube videos talking about how he's still alive in Cuba with Tupac. It felt like at that moment he was at the height of his popularity because it feels like only when an artist dies, that's when their art gets taken seriously. Death weirdly validates their work. Suddenly a Juice WRLD song feels more like a cry for help. His pain feels more authentic, but the same lyrics would have been ignored by the vast majority of his listeners before his passing. And often people cling on to that image. Every interview starts to feel like forbidden fruit. That desire to consume only increases, because there's no more growth, no more decline, no more change. Their catalog for the most part is closed. Everything feels rare, finite, collectible. It's a very human thing to want what we can't have. And death makes an artist permanently unavailable. That's why fans start gatekeeping, talking about,
I was a fan before he died.
Man, if Snoop Dogg died 20 years ago, he'd be in GOAT conversations right now. Now he's just some washed up bag-chasing Trump supporter. Death is their biggest promo because they don't have a chance to fall off or dilute their legacy anymore. Death creates this unfinished future. It makes you wonder, what would he sound like today? Or, Charlie would have never stood for this. It keeps a version of these figures alive in people's minds forever, because the fantasy can never be disproven. Once an influencer dies, they become nothing more than a cultural tool. I'd bet that 8 months ago, majority of y'all didn't even know who Charlie Kirk was. But now when I say, she gave me the Kirk last night, you unfortunately know what that means. They become a symbol. It's not about art anymore or spreading a message. They can get reused endlessly for anything. At that point, they're not remembered. They're deployed as martyrs. And once a person becomes a symbol, someone's gonna monetize it. After Kirk's death, he suddenly became the most divisive figure in the world. It was either he was the worst person to ever exist, or he was the epitome of a decent Christian man spreading family values to the youth. Every bit of nuance dies along with the artist, and if there's anything the internet hates, it's nuance. And that's when the machine kicks in. Charlie Kirk was awarded a Medal of Honor after his death. X only got a #1 on the Billboard after he was gone. Franz Kafka died thinking he was a failure, only to become one of the most influential writers to ever live in his coffin. Robert Johnson was said to have sold his soul for fame and talent, and the only catch was he would only become famous after he died. That's who the movie Sinners is based off. All of them hit their biggest career highs, but they were too dead to see them. Cause it was never really about art or values, it was about a tragic story. That's what they're selling you. They so much profit in marketing you a tragedy of an innocent man who was killed for just having an opinion, or this young artist who was filled with so much potential but was taken from us way too early. That's where the real money is made, and their handlers can just put out new work without consent. Once scrapped verses suddenly become full-length songs. Anderson .Paak literally has a tattoo telling people that when he's gone to never release any posthumous music under his name, because it was never meant for the public. And I get it, because what's next? AI commentary videos? AI verses? It feels like death isn't a tragedy anymore. It's a strategy.